Have you ever noticed how some women just draw in money, love, and opportunity without even overworking, without overexplaining? They walk into a room and it's like the universe rearranges itself to actually meet them there. That's not luck. That's energetic wealth. And more specifically, dark feminine wealth. Today, we are going to be unlocking what it actually means to embody this power, how to stop chasing, how to start receiving, and how to step fully into the version of you who doesn't hope for abundance. She expects it. I want you to comment below before we get started today, beautiful. How and what does wealthy energy look like to you right now? In your own mindset, in your body, or in your boundaries. Let me know in the comments so that we can dive deep into this and we can discuss this later in the comments. So I want to begin today with the point that abundance is an energy, okay? It's an energy that you hold. It's not something that you chase. Abundance is all about the energy. It's about how you feel. It's about the being that you embody right now. So let's talk, because many of us are living in scarcity. And scarcity mindset says, I need to lower my standards so that I don't miss out. I should settle for this role. It's something. I have to prove that I deserve abundance. But let me tell you, this scarcity mindset that you've heard so much about is the one thing that's actually stopping you from being abundant right now. What I really want you to understand is that your dark feminine, when you start to embody that dark feminine, when you start to lean into the elements of you within your dark feminine, you're basically flipping everything on its head and you're saying, I am abundance. Not I want to be abundant. I am abundance. I am. It's naturally within me to be abundant. I set the standard. I don't chase. I choose. And I promise you that even if you don't feel like it right now, I bet you if you pull up your notes app or you pull out a pen and paper, I bet you right now that you would be able to write a full list of things that you have chosen right now, that you have the opportunity to choose. Having an abundance of choices in your life is the number one thing that is going to help you when you really understand this. When you really tap into that gratitude of the abundance that you already have, that's when everything starts to grow. That's when your life starts to become really totally rich, totally beautiful. Every day is just bliss. And yes, you're going to have challenges, but you're going to tackle them from an abundance point of view. So I want you to start thinking about that. It's not a thing out there external to you. Abundance is within you right now. Okay, abundance has really nothing to do with material items. Those might be a byproduct of having an abundant energy and making abundant moves because of your energy. But those things are absolutely nothing in relation to the feeling of actually being abundant. So here's an example. What I want you to do, as I mentioned, you're in this, if you're in the scarcity mindset, that is, you're thinking, I need to lower my standards so I don't miss out. I need to cling on to this job even though it's not right for me. I need to say yes to things that I don't want to do. I need to hustle just because I feel like if I don't do this, I'm missing out. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? You've been looking for a new role. You've been speaking to people. Maybe you've got your profile on LinkedIn set to that status where people can contact you, you're looking for work, whatever. And somebody offers you quite a well-paying opportunity. It's quite a good opportunity for you, but you're not feeling absolutely lit up by it. You're feeling a bit unsure, and you get that strange intuition about it, like, not sure about this. It's not my dream. It's not what I'm actually really looking for. So instead of jumping at it and thinking, let me find out more, let me audition, let me start jumping through all these hoops, you actually say, thank you. And you're saying this to the universe, yeah? Thank you, but I'm only available for what feels energetically expansive to me. You're not saying that to the person that reaches out to you, okay? They're gonna be like, what? But you're saying, right now, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I so appreciate that you're showing me this opportunity to confirm that it's not exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm going to hold tight right now. And I know that I trust that the perfect opportunity is going to come up, and it's just around the corner. Thank you. Okay. Another example, you are applying for the perfect job. You're so excited. Maybe it's a promotion. Maybe it's something you're really excited for, and you're like, this is so perfect for me. But then you've got maybe an element of, okay, well, what rates are you expecting for this role? And you're like, oh, that question. In that situation, you're saying, this is my experience. This is my worth. This is how I've, added value to X, Y, and Z companies before you. And so therefore, this would be the rate that would be suitable. Don't ever feel that that's something you don't want to do. The people that are, and this is just a side note for you, the people that are actually sorting out all of that element of things, the kind of bureaucracy side of things, like the figures and the stats, they're not, they know nothing. When it comes to the interview, when it comes to making the selections, they're not usually the people, okay? You can find that out for yourself in many cases. But if it's a big company, if it's corporate, usually what you'll find is that there are people who just do the checks, the standard formalities that you are fitting in that bracket. And in fact, what you can often say to them is, can you tell me, based upon the factors that the people that you're interviewing today, or can you tell me what would the bracket be? What is the upper range? What's the lower range? Can you let me know? Because it needs to align with where I'm at in my career. And so you're no longer negotiating your worth. You're declaring your worth. You're like, I'm actually, this is what I would be expecting for this role. And so this is the rate I'm expecting. And I know I've went on a bit of a tangent there, but you get it. It's the energy. It's the energy of, I'm so worth this. And yeah, you better be worth it. You better understand and be totally confident in the value that you bring. Well, that's not going to work, but you're here. You're listening to this channel. So I'm quite sure that you're someone who develops themselves, who's always working on themselves, who's going that extra mile, being your best self and bringing so much more to the table. So I think that's obviously a given. But the point is, you are abundant. You are her. So you don't have to go ahead and chase. I want to move on now because I want to discuss with you the fact that your feminine power, it's your wealth frequency. Now, true feminine energy receives, not passively, but powerfully. Scarcity energy, it really overfunctions, it overgives, and it overcompensates. It's doing too much. Wealth energy relaxes. Okay, you're relaxing into certainty. Because wealth energy, when you embody that, you know that worthiness is not earned. It's embodied. The fact that you are here, you were created in the image and likeness of God. You are worthy. You are worthwhile. And you're very, very valuable. So here's an example for you. you're running a business, for example, and your client pushes back on the price that you've quoted them. Instead of defending it or shrinking down or saying, well, I really want to work with you, so let's negotiate on this one time, you say, well, this is the value that I operate at. And if it's not the right fit, then, no problem. I trust that the right ones will align. I trust that, you're not going to say this to the client, but you trust that the right clients are going to step up and not even query or question that because they see your value. Or if you're dating someone who isn't consistent with their effort, if they're very hot and cold and you're like, what is going on here? Where am I at with this person? Instead of chasing clarity, you say, consistency is a standard for me. It's not a request. So you're making it well known that you're actually very valuable. And if you don't like a certain behavior, then that's it. By the way, the purpose of texting should not be to, if you're in the early stages of dating, it should not be to find all about this person and keep, talking to them about their lives and trying to figure out more about this person and if they're right for you. The purpose of texting, why you would text someone, why you message someone, when they are messaging you, you're literally setting up your next meeting, your next date. That's the purpose of texting. So in between times, I want you to pull back more into your own feminine power. And this is a total side note here, but with your feminine power, you're not the one chasing, you're not the one texting, you've got things to do, you're working on yourself. You're embodying your highest self. You've got things to do. You're not sitting around waiting, looking at the phone, waiting for them to text. So the purpose of texting is for you to decide whether or not a proposal of a date works for you, and if not, sort out a suitable other date for that. Another time, another place, another whatever, okay? That's how it works. So I do want you to really understand that. If you are interested to know more about that, let me know in the comments. I'm coming up for, well, my husband tells me, not this year, but the next year, coming up for 10 years in marriage. So I can tell you that, I have experience and I understand. And prior to that was in another longer term relationship, and I have a lot of experience. And, when it comes to that type of thing, I really do understand that dynamic quite well. So the minute you start to chase, the minute you start to question, the minute you start to do these long text messages that are 3 pages long, complaining and moaning and blah, 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 and why aren't you contacting me? And all these other guys are into me, but I'm waiting on you. No, it doesn't work like that. You're pulling back, you're organizing a date, and, if it's not working, you're moving on. You're not contacting that person, what you're not wasting your time. So your feminine power is your wealth frequency. So when you start to see the value in yourself, when you start to embody that in every scenario of your life, you're going to realize how very, very quickly things can turn around for you. If you're not already attracting wealth, you'll soon be attracting wealth because you're developing yourself. You're working on yourself every day as a passion. You're making sure that you're in the right industry. You're excited about your career prospects. Or you're excited about, like me, how you can develop yourself as a mama, staying at home with your beautiful babies. So your power is within you. Your wealth is within you. But it's all about the way you embody it that's going to attract that to you. So what I want to do, I want to go into some ways that you can embody wealth right now, even while you're still expanding, no matter how much is actually within your bank account. Because wealth isn't about your bank account. It's about your self-concept. You cannot fake frequency, but you can build it. You can build it from the inside out. You can get that confidence back. Because for me, it's not about proving yourself that you're worthy. It's about stripping back all of those layers like that onion that society has like pushed onto you. You're wrapped up in so many bubbles of like, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you need this to be perfect, all of that. That's totally false. That's what marketers do to get you to buy their products. So here's how to shift into wealth energy right now and start to feel wealthy. Because here's how it happens. You're going to speak wealth. So you're going to replace I can't afford it with it's not aligned for me right now. You're going to decide with power. So if something feels like a compromise, you're going to say, that doesn't serve my energy. I'm choosing differently. And these are things you're saying to yourself. It's your self-talk. Okay, people may not understand you if you say, it's not aligned for me right now, whatever, or it doesn't serve my energy, I'm choosing differently. They might be like, what is she all about? What is she talking about? But really what you're trying to do is you're speaking to yourself and you're making decisions by yourself that align with you. So if all the girls are going on holiday and they're booking this, amazing 5-star luxury resort with every single, thing under the sun, thousands and thousands spending money, brand new outfits, all of this, and they're doing it on their credit cards, that is not something that's going to be aligned with you, because that doesn't scream wealth. That screams, I'm trying to escape from my life right now, and I'm just putting it all on the back burner, but I'm literally causing myself huge problems in the future, because when I come back from this amazing, like no expenses spared holiday, I've had an amazing time. My Instagram looks amazing. However, I have not made the correct financial choices that mean that I can feel wealthy in the long term. So you're making the right choices. You might be someone who buys into all the fast fashion and all of the consumerism, and you might want to buy those little splurges. But if you're doing that every single weekend and you're doing things like that on a credit card versus you are saving so that you can actually be wealthy versus actually looking wealthy, that's the problem. Save up. Buy quality items. There's nothing wrong with saving, because when you save and you've got the money to pay outright versus I'm just going to buy so many fast fashion. Yeah, I'm wearing a different outfit every week, but literally that's so shallow, surface level. And listen, I love fashion. I love to look put together. I love clothes, but I never spend unless it's quality. I would much rather save up if I had to. I'm not big into consumerism now. I've done that. I've been, in the past, I've made all the hugely luxurious, extravagant purchases, the handbags, the shoes, everything. But I would always rather save versus I'm going to put this on a credit card, because that affects my energy. Because if I know that, I'm wearing this amazing dress that cost me like £500-600, but my bank balance is showing a negative number, that does not support my energy. That gives me a scarcity mindset. That puts me into panic mode. So we're not doing that anymore. If that was you, let me know in the comments if you can relate to that. And it can happen really easily. I know that because I was a student. I don't even want to think how many years ago I was a student, like probably, oh my God, I don't even want to say. But when I was a student, there was such a thing as an interest-free overdraft. And I didn't realize that I didn't have that financial mindset. I was never taught that. And I didn't realize that if an interest-free overdraft would just suddenly drop one day when you were no longer a student. And I didn't realize that I would have like £3,000 to pay with interest. So that was a huge wake-up call for me. And I learned so much from that, because I learned I'm never going to get myself into that situation ever again. And granted, I did spend the majority of my student years working myself all the way through and paying for absolutely everything. But I went out, had fun, clothes, holidays, all of that at the same time. But that really hit me hard. And from that day on, I realised I'm never going to get into that situation again. And I'm never going to allow my children to get into that situation again. But I was so young and naive, and I had no role models that would teach me that. Okay? So I want you to make decisions with power. So if you've got this feeling inside you and you're unsure, that means no. And that also means, even if you kind of really want to, you see the stunning shoes, you see the stunning handbag, you see that beautiful accessory, and you're like, it's so beautiful. It would be the perfect accessory for this outfit, for this one. It's going to be amazing. But if you're having to go into an overdraft to purchase that, don't do it. Think about it. Listen, it's going nowhere. Maybe have you got a birthday coming up? Maybe have you got another situation where, it might be possible as a treat. Do you got a husband? Hey, you probably work hard with those beautiful little ones if you are a mama. And if you're not, how can you, like I did when I didn't have that husband spoiling me on my birthday, when I didn't have those beautiful children, when I was actually working, how can you save up and make sure that you don't have just enough to purchase and no more? How can you make sure that you actually have enough to purchase twice and 3 times over? So you're like, oh, you know what? I've got so much that I don't even miss that. It's a drop in the ocean. Let me tell you, when you start to prioritize building wealth instead of spending money, what starts to happen is when you've got money in the bank and you start to see it mounting up and you have multiple accounts with savings, you start to change your mindset when it comes to things. You don't want to waste that, because you're like, well, I could go tomorrow and I could buy, I don't want to go into like material items and whatever, but I could easily go and spend. But I choose not to, because I'm not interested, because there's no fun there for me. Because if I know that that's going to reduce my savings account, then why would I do that to myself? I would be so disappointed in myself to actually go ahead and make such purchases when I would rather have that sense of security and feel that wealth. That's how you embody wealth. You're making smart choices. Now, if I need something, or if I really think, that would be an amazing investment and I love it and it's good quality and it'll last me for years, yeah, it's a different story. But I'm not just randomly doing that to say, oh, hey, look, don't I look amazing? I have this season's latest X, Y, and Z. It means nothing to me. And I see when people do it as well. And they may love fashion too. But for me, that's not what screams amazing person. What screams amazing person to me is the energy someone has, the mindset they have, the conversations, the interests they have. What depth do they have to them versus, wow, you look amazing. I'll tell you, so many times I've seen, people who, and you would be so surprised. You would be literally, I'm telling you, if you're someone who aspires to have all the things, people who have a lot of wealth, people who really do embody that, you're not interested in things. You love nice things, you value them, high quality things, but it's not to show other people your wealth. It's because they're high quality things and you prefer to buy things to last. You don't want to squander and waste your money. And quite often you'd be so surprised as to how many people are showing up in the latest designer outfits, accessories, handbags, shoes, but that is not reflected in their real lives. That's their social lives. These are little props. So I want you to understand that, and I'm going into that in depth because this is a channel for women, and I know that marketing is so clever these days. It's ridiculously clever that would make you think that you need all of this extra stuff to make you incredible, and you really don't. And the final point, shifting into your wealth energy now, is moving with those standards. So like I discussed previously, I want you to enter every single room, every single meeting, every single conversation as the woman who already has what she wants. Because I bet you right now, if you go back to that notes app, back to your piece of paper, write down on your notebook, write down all the things that you already have that you wanted one day. You have it all. It's inside of you. She's inside of you. That high value, incredible woman who embodies that dark feminine energy because she knows that about herself. Here's a few examples, okay, how you're going to embody wealth when you are put in a compromising situation. So, for example, your job or your client asks you to over-deliver, but for less. How do you respond? That's a really difficult one. I've been in this situation many times myself. You can literally say something like, thank you for considering me, but that's outside the scope of my value. That's outside the scope of this role or this contract. Maybe a friend, I've had this one before, a friend tries to guilt you into plans that you don't have space for, and you're like, I can't, and they keep pushing you on, oh, come on, it will be so good, and you're like, I can't keep doing this. So you say, I love you, but I'm prioritizing my energy right now, or I need to prioritize this right now, so I can't shift on it. Okay? And that's it, and you're just standing firm. So these are micro decisions that will honestly shift your reality because you're acting from wealth energy. You're valuable. When you're acting from wealth energy, wealth response. So I want to comment below, what's one energetic upgrade that you're making and how you relate to money or self-worth this week? Let me know below. And I want to share with you some final thoughts before we wrap up today, because final thoughts, you're not here to chase. You're here to attract from wholeness. You're here to expand with ease. You're here to receive with no apology. So step into your wealthy woman frequency and do it now. Because when you walk like it's already yours, it starts to come true. It will become true because it is true. You're just now tapping into that frequency. So step into your wealthy woman frequency. It's yours and it's now. Now, just to finish today, if you're ready to embody overflow and become magnetic to money, love, and aligned opportunities, then download your free manifestation power pack and let your energy lead. You're going to find the links to that below, or you can visit mrsmanifestation.com/power. You can check out all the latest offers there too. There's some amazing stuff on the website. So again, I just want to remind you that you are magnetic, you are abundance, and that's it. So I want you to share below, what are you no longer available for in your wealthy woman era? And I want to subscribe for some more deep feminine power, for more dark magnetism and wealth embodiment, because I am bringing it in this series. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you in the next episode.